What up? It's your boy, Dick Incredible Man, and yes, I am back at it again. And this is New Amsterdam Season 4, Episode 12, discussion slash review. And this was another great episode that just really filled my heart with glee and just restored my faith in humanity, man. Let's talk about it.
Yo, fight until you make it, yo, don't think it, no, just take it. Don't wait for someone to break it, take control, then don't just take it, hey. You can make it happen, you just gotta take some action. Take the ship and be the captain.
I'm gonna be 100%. I really enjoyed this episode, man. Like, it started off a little wonky for me, but as the episode progressed, you know, it kind of just like, it gave you all the answers that you needed to everything that was going on. And I just felt good after the episode went off. It just felt really good seeing all this stuff take place and then getting the resolutions that we got out of everything. Let's talk about Max and Sharp. We see that Sharp is interviewing people for the second in command position at her hospital, and she met 3 wonderful people, and she felt good about each one of them individually. But every time she talked to someone at the hospital about, well, I met this wonderful person, so I think they'll be a great fit, somebody always had some extra kind of input to impart to her about what they think would be the perfect person for the job in particular. And she tried to meet that, and that's how she ended up hiring 3 different people. And I feel like that's a good thing because she has a lot of representation. She took the needs of the people and really help the people, if you will. And sure, that's that whole Max side effect, you know, with her listening to the people and then turn around and in turn hiring people to help the people. You know, that's a lot of people. But that's that whole Max side effect that kind of just rubbed off on her. And I feel like that was a good thing. But the only thing is, you know, if you lean too much into like your employees, you know, like them giving you advice and stuff, then you're going to be indecisive with your decision making. So I guess in this situation, it wasn't a bad idea, but in the long run, you know, think about including the workforce into all of these big decision-making ideas in the long run. Anyway, Max, this episode had me a little bit worried because he's really feeling the brunt of just uprooting his whole life and moving to London with Sharp, which, like I said last episode, I'm glad because I enjoy them together and I love them together, but he's starting to really feel the brunt of it because he can't get a job. He has his license to practice medicine in the UK, but he can't because nobody will hire him. They either say he's too qualified or he's underqualified. And then, you know, the one doctor in general asked him, like, well, can I call Veronica Fuentes for, you know, some insights, you know, to fight, like, to improve your resume and everything like that. He was like, man, I really wish you wouldn't. I don't think it's a good idea. So, you know, he's out of work. Like, he doesn't have much going on. So he meets this dude that's in Sharp's hospital that needs some medical care because his knee's a little tweaked up. And he decides to help this man in this alley, but he doesn't have the medical tools to do it. So he decides to fake like he's going to see Sharp throughout the entire day, and he keeps going in there stealing medicine and the tools and everything that he needs to help this patient. That's Max. That's good on Max, and I feel like that's what makes Max, if you will. But at the same time, I felt like it was going to be some drawbacks. I mean, there was no real consequences because the security guard that caught him took him to Sharp, and next thing you know, it was all over. But I felt like it was a good thing that he done it because the dude really needed help and it was a simple procedure. But at the same time, the way you're going about it. Now, sure, that's his whole shtick, if you will, when he was at New Amsterdam. But, you know, you're in a different country. You can practice medicine, but you don't really work at a hospital or anything. So it's kind of up in the air. But I'm glad it kind of just worked out in the end, because at the end of the episode, we see that the dude that he helped with the taxi cab, or the cab, if you will, introduced him to more cabbies that needed his help because they had similar situations and other problems that, you know, Max could solve without them actually having to go to the hospital. So in the long run, it worked out, but I thought there would be more consequences for him, you know, stealing the supplies and everything else. But I'm glad that it worked out because that kind of just restored my faith in humanity just a little bit, along with the rest of the episode. because we see that Dr. Wilder is seeing one of Sharp's old patients, which happens to be Willow with the blue wig. I love Willow. Willow's, she's that snarky commentator person that you need when everything's is serious. And we find out that Dr. Wilder wants to help her because she's having some complications with the medicine that she's on now, and she's really, is she's losing weight and she's not really feeling the best, and she's at this point now to where she want to stop the treatment. And I felt some type of way, man, when she said that she wanted to stop the treatment. And Dr. Wilder was hurt just as much as I was when she said that. And she mentioned that, well, I just want to help you. And Willow wasn't having any of it because she was like, well, I don't want you. I want Dr. Sharp. I don't know you. I don't trust you. And Dr. Wilder earned that trust because she went to the holistic doctor lady. I can't remember her name. I'll remember it if she becomes more important, but I'll try to. But I mean, I just don't right now. But anyway, she went to her and she mentioned to Willow that I don't trust her fully, but I trust her enough to help you. You see, like to help you, to help me, to get you to trust me. If it's like a real confusing thing the way she said it, but like she was helping Willow by telling her that she doesn't fully trust her, but she trusts her enough to help Willow in her predicament, which was fantastic. And it helped Willow, and it made the holistic doctor lady kind of join the resistance side. So now we add someone to the resistance that could be actually fully helpful, because she's going to see the dark side of Veronica eventually, I guarantee you. So it's nice to have that whole dynamic with her, because I was starting to like her because of last episode, but like now I'm really starting to enjoy the holistic doctor lady a little bit. We see that Bloom is still trying to contact Layla, but Layla's not connecting, and some of the other residents aren't giving her the information that she needs. So Bloom is still feeling the withdrawal of everything that's been going on with Layla. I didn't mention it in my last episode because it just kind of slipped my mind a little bit, but we see that her and Layla actually broke up. So now Bloom is in the wind, and she doesn't have anything to go on regarding Layla. But at the end of the episode, one of the residents gives her the information to contact Layla, because I think she's working at a life insurance agency or something like that, I think. I'm not totally sure. We only had one particular case this episode, and that was Bloom's patient. And we find out dude is addicted to the Knicks. I mean, but to be fair, like when Bloom broke down the definition of, addiction, like that was it in a nutshell. And we find out that, the Knicks are causing him to have so much stress, and it's messing with his heart. So he has to have open heart surgery because of his stress and anxiety from the Knicks constantly losing. And, dude, it's time to let the Knicks go, man. I mean, they're not that great of a team anyway. I don't know why you bet all your horses on the Knicks anyway. But, like, in the long run, the dude, his whole case was solved. And, they gave him open heart surgery. And Floyd performed the surgery and everything. But let's talk about Floyd, Baptiste, and Lynn. Dude, that whole situation, I got to give it up for my man Floyd. Because he felt some type of way after Baptiste invited him over to his house, to look after Lynn because she's on bed rest, and he's scrolling through their pictures and everything like that, and he's seeing how happy they were. And Lynn kind of mentioned that we were happy, but not so much anymore. But that gave Reynolds the idea to do some stuff for Lynn. He bought her flowers and kind of her favorite sandwich from somewhere, but he told Baptiste that it was from him. And so when he gets home, to just tell Lynn that, oh, it's okay, I got it for you, baby. Just Reynolds is the man. Like, I was wondering how he was going to feel about this whole situation, and now I'm starting to see Reynolds in a whole new light, man. Big ups for my boy Reynolds, because it takes a man to stand in that position and to just back off. Now, Iggy, on the other hand, I feel like Iggy really gained a W in this episode. Like, he may not have needed it or anything like that, but I feel like he gained a W in this episode by helping that police officer. We learn her whole situation. She has to see mandated therapy from the higher ups because she's had maybe a couple complaints or something. I'm not totally sure what they were doing with that, but it was ordered for her by the higher ups to, see Iggy. Now, then she starts telling Iggy that, she's had these, she's feeling a little withdrawn from her wife and everything else. And she's going through some stuff at home, but it could lead from stress from work because she's feeling extra tired and all this other stuff. So we take a ride along. Iggy is on a ride along with this lady, which is cool, which is nice. And we see that she, on a daily basis, I'm assuming she's dealing with a lot of homeless people that has mental health issues. And because in this episode, I think we saw her deal with like 2 people, and we don't know how many she actually really has to deal with in the course of a day. But there's a lot of homeless people with a lot of mental health issues, and she's one of the officers that deals with that. And we see her dealing with that, but it's also stressing her out, and we learn that she has PTSD. And as the episode progresses, we learn what triggered it. It's because she attacked another homeless person with mental health issues, and she cracked her shoulder, and she didn't feel nothing but anger. She didn't feel any remorse or anything like that, because she's not equipped to deal with mental health issues on the job. Like, they don't train them for that. They train them for everything else, but they don't train them for that, because we see that Iggy had to be the one to calm her down, the guy down, the pedestrians and the other officers, everybody. He had to calm everybody down, and he just held a conversation with him, and the dude just walked off. And then we kind of just learned what led to her being triggered and everything from her PTSD. And it's so sad, but now Iggy has a mission to train all of NYPD to better equip them to handle mental health issue cases and patients that, you know, or people, if you will, when they're out in the streets, so they don't have to go through what this officer went through. Overall, man, that's the episode. Like I said, I really enjoyed it, and this video is a little longer than the others, but man, it was worth it. It was a good episode. This is your boy, Incredible, man. Don't forget to smash the like button till you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. Peace out.
I cannot complain, because today, I'm doing my thing.